thank you for coming here today. One update for you on training camp. Radek Martinic will not be here for the first day of camp. He lost a very dear friend in the awful tragedy in Russia, and he's going to travel back to the Czech Republic for a funeral during the week, and he'll be here Friday. We expect that he'll get his medical, Friday's medical and physical day. He'll get his medical on Saturday morning, and he'll be on the ice for Saturday morning. There's a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of optimism around our team. You can feel it in the community. You can feel it amongst the players, and the hard part starting Friday, and that's actually transferring that optimism, that energy into wins. We're excited to get started. Scott and I were both in Traverse City over the weekend at the rookie tournament. Came back last night. It was nice to get going there. We had a good first day. We beat the Red Wings 7-3 and lost to Buffalo yesterday 6-3. So our kids are there for 2 more days. They'll all arrive back here on Thursday, and then we'll get going on Friday. So.
Obviously, real good question. This year is so much more relaxing than last year. For all of us, our staff, our coaching staff here in Columbus, our coaching staff in Springfield, for everybody, we were all new. And it certainly was a lot of preparation. It was a lot of trying to figure out how we were going to handle this, obviously, training camp week. And then we had our trip to Sweden, certainly laying out the season. There was lots of excitement, lots of expectations. And this year is, it's certainly we've done all our work in June and July. And we've also we've changed our team, but things are so much more relaxed for myself, for our staff. So I'm really looking forward to being able to just sort of let things play themselves out as. Yeah, I think that obviously we have some numbers that we were probably in this position last year. I think we had 21-way contracts, although we did end up having 3 players make our team out of training camp that didn't, that maybe weren't expected to be here in Mackenzie Wilson and Nate Gennon. But this year there are some spots. We certainly, whether it's those guys fighting for those 6-7 spot on defense, or maybe an extra 1 or 2 spots up front. We have some young guys that are pushing for opportunity to be in our lineup. We also have some older players that are looking to maybe have a shot at playing here in Columbus. I think obviously, as you know, the first big step we did at the end of the season, Scott and I met with Steve, and we talked a lot about what it takes to be a number 1 goaltender in the NHL, and it isn't just technique, it isn't just your skill set. I think that the biggest part of the game for a goaltender in this league, no different than an NFL quarterback, is the mental side, because there's so much pressure thrown at you. So much expectations. The spotlight always, the last source of defense, and the whole emphasis comes to you. And I think that the one area where we talked to Steve and we tried to formulate a game, put a game plan together, was that we went out and hired Ian Clark, a goaltender coach, a full-time goaltender coach, what we hadn't had before. And I had some history with Ian, and Scott got to meet him, interview him, and we were both very comfortable that he'd be the right guy for Steve. And they've had numerous sessions up in Toronto, both on the ice and off the ice. They've really got to know each other. And then here, this past week and a half, they've been together again, and along with Mark Dekanich. So they've been really kind of sort of building first a relationship, and I think that's so important with that position and that coach. So, and then the last part I'll say, and I don't want to take it all away from Scott, but we're a better hockey team in front of them. I think that we have the ability to score more goals, be it on our power play or 5-on-5, which can reduce a little bit of that stress and strain on your goaltender. And I think that our back end is a lot better in our defense, and hopefully we're going to, both on our penalty kill and our defensive zone play, that we're not giving up the quality chances. So if Steve can feel a little bit more comfortable in the net, knowing that he's got a little bit better team in front of him, that hopefully will go a long way towards him having a strong year.
He's not the first goalie to take a step back after starting very strongly in this league. Carey Price did it. We go way back to Grant Fuhr, Tom Barrasso. A lot of Hall of Fame goaltenders have gone through this growth period, and we know the talent's there. We've seen it, And it's up to us now to get it out of him, and it's up to Steve to make sure that he's going to get it out of himself. And we both feel very strongly he's in that space right now, and we're going to help him get there.
Well, I think the other person that got added to that was Todd Richards on my coaching staff. Todd's had who's obviously been a head coach in this league, who's going to be very valuable for me, not just on the power play. I think that the two of us are going to kind of tackle that one. I think that Todd has experience from San Jose, where he worked with the power play, obviously with Pittsburgh's organization. But last year in Minnesota, he had one of the better power plays for pretty much 2/3 of the season. He had some major injuries where he lost a lot of his key personnel, but he's a guy that I think will really help that group. And you're bringing in a weapon like a Carter that's a threat. Anytime the puck's on his stick, you have the big shot of Wisniewski. Vinny Prospel's another guy that's a power play guy. I mean, we have our pieces in Umberger and Broussard and Grant Klitzum. So, and the thing, what I found last year on our power play was that everybody stayed real close, whether it was one guy or two guys stayed real close to Rick Nash. So if you have other weapons, they can't be so particular. They can't do that one style of penalty kill where they just load up on Rick, and it'll allow other people to really get their opportunities.
I think there definitely is. I mean, John P. McConnell stepped up in a big way here to increase the payroll. And I think the root of it all is we have a franchise player in Rick Nash that just turned 27 in June. And, we don't want to waste. He's entering his prime now. The next 4, 5, 6, 7 years should be his prime. And we want to try and surround him with a better team. And hopefully we've done that. Both Scott and I talk to Rick all the time. And one of his consistent requests was get us another All-Star. And we've got that in Jeff now. So I think there is a sense of urgency. I think the players feel it, and certainly everybody else does.
I think that one point on that, too, is that where Rick's 27 and Wisniewski's 27, Teuton's 27, Mathat's 25, our group is, our core group that we've locked up here are all pretty close to the same age. So if you talk about expectations right now, or you talk about it 1 year from now or 2 years from now, we're real excited about our age of our group. We're not 32 years old. We're not an older team that needs to be great right now because of the age. RJ obviously has one from last year, which will stay the same. Antoine Vermette, Anton Vermette was one of our alternates as well. I think what I'll do is I'll get the core group together, our top 6 or 7 guys, and we'll discuss it obviously a little bit with them. I'll talk with their coaches and Scott, and to me that'll just be. I think that everything else, RJ and obviously Rick will stay the same, and from there I'm more concerned about our leadership group, which usually is a lot more than just 3 people. So we'll let it just play itself out over training camp.